40-degree day here in the Mountain West. Denver, Colorado, partly cloudy skies. That's the forecast the rest of the afternoon for the Broncos and the Chiefs. Romeo Crennel having some issues with his knee. He's got one crutch out there on the sideline. There was some speculation that he might coach the game from up in the coach's box, but Romeo on the sideline today for Kansas City. And John Fox, what a job he's done with this Denver Broncos team. They were a nice story a year ago when Tebow Mania was running full bore around the NFL. This year, they're a legitimate threat to win the whole thing. Kansas City won the toss. They'll receive with Devin Wiley. The kick from Prater. It's a touchback, and the Chiefs will have it at the 20-yard line. Kansas City at 2-13, a loss here, and they will have the #1 pick in the NFL draft. Brady Quinn making his 7th start of the season under center for Kansas City.
And he knows he's up against a great challenge, trying to match touchdowns with the great Peyton Manning. Once in the red zone, the Chiefs must get TDs, not field goals, and Brady feels they are opportunities to make some big plays throwing deep against his Broncos secondary.
And he's got one of the biggest weapons in the NFL in his backfield in Jamal Charles. Charles gets the carry on first down. And nothing there. Back to the line of scrimmage. Kevin Vickerson, first man to greet him. Let's take a look at the Kansas City offense. Brandon Albert is inactive once again. Donald Stevenson, the rookie out of Oklahoma, steps in for Albert, who's out with a back injury. Backs and receivers. Charles is going to the Pro Bowl for the second time. He told us that this one means even more considering the ACL injury in 2011. By the way, Tony Moriarty is active, the tight end, dealing with a head injury, but he's in there today for Kansas City. It's Charles again. And Charles is hit. Wesley Woodyard leading that charge. It's a 2-yard pickup. Take a look at the defense, ranked #3 overall for Denver. Derek Wolfe, rookie out of Cincinnati. He's been an impact player. Sacks in back-to-back weeks for Wolfe. Linebackers, Woodyard has had an excellent season. Some thought maybe even a Pro Bowl season. Von Miller is going to the Pro Bowl, as is Champ Bailey for the 12th time in his 14-year career. 3rd and 8, opening drive for Kansas City. It's Sean Drone now in the backfield, and Quinn working out of the gun. On 3rd down, Quinn under pressure, dumps it off for Drone, and he's got nowhere to go. It'll be a loss on the play. Bailey helping to seal it up. A loss of 2 as Quinn took a hit from Robert Ayers.
Yeah, and the Broncos just rushed 3 men at Quinn this time. They lead the NFL in sacks with 48 coming in. That was really a well-designed and well-executed stunt there as Ayers gets to the quarterback and knocks him down.
And first punt from Pro Bowler Dustin Colquitt. His brother Britton punting for Denver. So the punting Colquitt's on display here with Jim Leonard back. No Trendon Holiday today. Leonard's going to return this one back across the 30. A 56-yard punt. Holiday sitting out with an ankle injury. And Corey Greenwood makes the play on special teams. Peyton Manning, MVP-like numbers. Basically, it's going to come down to him and Adrian Peterson for the award.
And he told us yesterday that in the first game between these two, the Broncos made too many mistakes on 1st and 2nd down. That brought up a lot of tough 3rd down situations. Look for the Broncos today to use a lot of crossing routes against the Chiefs' man-to-man coverages.
So Denver opens up 1st and 10 just across the 30-yard line. A victory here means the #1 seed in the playoffs in the AFC. Looking for their 11th straight win. Manning to throw on 1st down. All play action. Manning, perfect pass as he hits Stokely. Brandon Stokely and Manning have obvious chemistry going back to their Indy days. And that's 29 yards on the first play from scrimmage.
And it was a crossing route for Manning after the play fake to Moreno. You can see Stokely running away from the defensive back there, Javier Arenas. Key 1st down play for Denver.
So 1st down in Kansas City territory at the 40-yard line. Fake the handoff. Manning fires underneath and connects with Decker. Decker closing in on 1,000 yards, 9-yard pickup. Take a look at the starting offense for Denver. We don't have a whole lot of time because they run no huddle.
Speed read if you can.
Dan, I'd love for you to comment, but I'm sorry, we're out of time.
That's all I had.
2nd and 1 for the Broncos. On a running play, it's Moreno. And he's got a 1st down. It's a 3-yard gain. Dan, also would love your breakdown on defense, but we just can't do it.
Well, they got a 3-man line, 4 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs.
Outstanding analysis. Pro Bowlers on defense. Ali, Johnson, and Berry all going to the Pro Bowl. How about 5 Pro Bowlers for a team that's 2-13? So you know this Kansas City team is talented. They just have not been able to put it together. Manning on a connection. Manning out across the 15, and he's got Decker again. And that's it for Eric Decker. Over 1,000 yards receiving for Decker this season. He and Thomas over 1,000 as a combo.
And 80 catches now for Decker. It's going to be a pretty good matchup between the 6'3 Decker and the 6'3 Demaryius Thomas against two 5'9 corners in Flowers and Arenas.
Sean Moreno just limped off the field, so Hillman is in there. And Ronnie Hillman picks up 4 yards. The rookie out of San Diego State, brought down by Justin Houston.
This has got to be a major concern for Denver if Moreno can't go. Willis McGahee will be back at practice next week, will not be eligible to play until the AFC Championship game if the Broncos get that far. And they may not if Moreno can't go.
2nd and 6, empty backfield. Denver looking to strike first. Manning pointing out some issues defensively for Kansas City as they try to regroup. Manning steps up. Manning flings it underneath. Ball was ripped away, and it's ruled incomplete as Flowers got a piece of it. Flowers is very aggressive. We had a chance to sit down with him yesterday. He looked forward to the challenge of taking on Thomas and Decker, and he said the whole secondary was really looking forward to the matchup.
Yeah, and he said that he likes playing against tall receivers because he can use his quickness. Doesn't want to give them a chance to use any double moves, what the Broncos are so good at.
So now a 3rd and 6 for the Broncos. Early stages, opening quarter here in Denver. Shotgun, Manning. He's got time. Manning in stride. Jacob Hester with the catch. It's a 7-yard pickup and enough for a first down.
And what a great pickup Jacob Hester was for John Fox and the Denver Broncos. That's Hester's first catch of the season. He converts on 3rd and 6.
Hester had a rushing touchdown last week, the former San Diego Charger who won a national title at LSU. Sean Moreno is back in there.
Hurry!
8th play of the drive on 1st and goal. Moreno. Good cut by Moreno for the touchdown. Denver on the board first.
Watch the block here by Manny Ramirez as he'll come over here and kick out the safety there, Tyson Hartman. Good patience by Moreno to allow that block to happen and then overpower Tamba Hali for the score.
This is a Denver team that has scored 30 points or more in 10 games this season. Number 2 scoring offense in the NFL behind New England, and that was easy. Extra point is good for Prater. Sean Moreno, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. It's 7-0, Denver. Here's your AFC playoff picture. The Denver Broncos with a victory lock up the number 1 seed in the AFC. Houston faltering down the stretch of the season to drop to 12-4. And Houston could drop to number 3 if New England gets the victory today over Miami. Baltimore finishes up at 10-6. How about Indy? 11-5, Dan, this year.
It's a real emotional scene there at Lucas Oil Stadium today for the return of Chuck Pagano, and the Colts played like it.
Another touchback off the foot of Matt Prater. Kansas City will have it at the 20-yard line. Impressive way to open things up. 8 plays, 69 yards. It took just over 3 minutes. Moreno caps it off with a 3-yard touchdown run.
And Manning 4 for 5 for 59 of those 69 yards.
So Kansas City, 2nd possession, 9:56 to play in this first quarter. Brady Quinn, former member of the Denver Broncos. He was part of that Orton-Tebow quarterback controversy. Quinn on a dart to Devin Wiley, rookie out of Fresno State, the 4th-round pick, makes his move up the field and turns it into a 5-yard gain.
And we'll see the Chiefs alternating tailbacks at times today. This time it was Peyton Hillis in the backfield. He'll remain in the game as Jamal Charles will get a rest on the sidelines. I'd like to see Charles in there a lot more, though.
Matt Katzel, the former starter, now the backup for Kansas City behind Brady Quinn. And figure they're going to revamp everything at that quarterback position during the offseason. Peyton Hillis picks up 2 yards and hit by Vickerson. Last week, Jamal Charles, 226 yards rushing. That's the 3rd most ever in a loss. O.J. Simpson and Ricky Williams had more than that in losses for the Bills and the Dolphins, respectively.
And that was against a 11-5 Indianapolis Colts defense.
3rd and 3. Drone gets to the outside, takes a shot, but able to handle it from Raheem Moore. Asamoah and Winston on that right side with good blocks to spring Drone loose for 8 yards and a new set of downs.
Well, this is where the Chiefs feel they'll have an advantage, whether it's Drone or Jamal Charles. It's getting to the edges. Von Miller at that time gets blocked by Eric Winston. That's just enough for Drone to get the corner, get the first down.
And Drone stays in there. We asked Romeo Crennel about mixing and matching the running backs. And he said assistant head coach Mo Parthon has a great feel for that. And that's based on Parthon and his instincts of who should be in there and when. Drone picks up a yard. Robert Ayers in on the stop for Denver. And we'll see another switch at running back as Charles will come trotting out.
Averaging 10.3 yards a carry last week. Had another 80-yard run. Has had 3 over 80 yards in this season for Jamal Charles, and averaging 5.5 yards a carry. It's phenomenal.
3rd in the NFL in rushing entering week 17. Adrian Peterson, of course, number 1. Charles and Peterson go way back to their Texas high school days in track when they would go against each other in the 100. Here's Charles trying to get out in space, and he's angled out of bounds by Harris. And we asked Charles about Peterson. He said, look, I know exactly what he's gone through, but Charles's injury took place before Peterson's injury. So he said he's amazed that Peterson was able to come back as quickly as he has from the knee.
Well, you used to say ACL, knee injury, and you were done not just for the season, you were done for your career. It's remarkable what the doctors and training staffs have been able to do.
3rd and 3. Drone again getting to the edge, and he picks up 4 yards. Donald Stevenson pulling to the outside. So Kansas City, this is no secret what they're going to do. They're just going to try to run the football as often as possible and keep it away from Peyton Manning, keep getting first downs.
Fine block by Donald Stevenson that time on Elvis Dumerville. Again, it's an edge run by the Chiefs. They're having a lot of success both sides of the ball, left and right.
5 rushes, just 1 pass. And it's Charles getting to the second level. Jamal Charles. We asked Brady Quinn about him. He said he's just a special player. Very tough. He's not that big, but he takes huge hits. And Stevenson is down. Stevenson was already filling in for Brandon Albert at left tackle. We'll step aside here in the first quarter. Downtown Denver, one of the most picturesque cities in America. Broncos with a 7-0 lead on Kansas City, and concern here for Donald Stevenson. They have him sitting up now. Stevenson injured on the last play. Big rookie out of Oklahoma, 3rd-round pick from Blue Springs, Missouri. He's up on his feet. Let's take a look at what happened with Stevenson on the O-line.
Well, here he is here. This is Derek Wolfe here, and it appears as Stevenson is going to try to cut Wolfe. Wolfe will go down on top of him, and maybe it's a shoulder injury of some type. The way he was walking off the field, kind of dragging his right shoulder. But this is critical for the Chiefs. Brandon Albert out. Stevenson was filling in for him.
So Jeff Allen has now slid over to left tackle, and Brian Madison comes in at left guard. Peyton Hillis on a 2nd and 1, and it is very close.
And a lot of mixing and matching now for Kansas City on that offensive line. Brian Madison played some tight end last week, so that will affect their goal line and short yardage formations. But this time of year, those offensive linemen the backups have got to know every position in case of situations such as we have right now for Kansas City.
Jeff Allen did play tackle at Illinois, played left tackle and right tackle. So Allen is familiar with that spot. They call it a 3rd and 1, 9th play of the drive. Charles, forward progress should be enough for a first down. Charles has now set a new single-season career high in rushing yards. He's at 1,474. Charles had 1,467 rushing yards in 2010. Went to the Pro Bowl that year, going to the Pro Bowl this year, and now limping off a bit for Kansas City.
Yeah, that does not look good for Kansas City. Charles, not the biggest tailback at about 200 pounds, but tough guy. All his teammates marvel at his toughness.
This drive continues for the Chiefs. They trail 7-0. Hayden Hillis is drilled. Kevin Vickerson, the veteran. It's a loss of 2 on the play.
Not a lot of imagination for this Chiefs offense. It's run right, run left. That's what we've seen so far. Brady Quinn's just thrown 2 passes so far. We'll go back to what may have happened to Jamal Charles on this play where he picked up the first down. Like Derek Wolfe again on top of Kansas City Chief.
2nd and 12, empty backfield. Shotgun formation for Kansas City. Quinn, tall in the pocket. He hits Wiley on the short pass, covering 6 yards to the 40-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, that's 2 catches on this drive for Devin Wiley. He only had 4 coming in, but he's playing that slot position. Smallish type of receiver, 5'9", 187 pounds, in the mold of a Wes Welker type.
And another rookie is in there. It's Cyrus Gray, rookie out of Texas A&M, in the backfield. 12th play of the drive. On 3rd and 6, Quinn lets it fly into a tight space. Incomplete. Tried to squeeze it into Wiley in a matchup with Tony Carter. It's 4th down.
It's 3rd down, and the Chiefs have to throw, and the pressure will be coming from the top of the screen. That's Elvis Dumerville. And Woodyard is from the near side. He gets inside that rookie Cyrus Gray for pressure on the quarterback.
Timeout called by Denver. Stops the clock, 4:04 to play in this first quarter. Broncos with a 7-0 lead on the Chiefs. Broncos only had 10 men on the field. That's why they were forced to use that timeout on special teams. Dustin Colquitt punting. Jim Leonard, the return man. Colquitt trying to pin Denver deep. And fair catch called for at the 9, a 32-yard punt. Peyton Manning and the Broncos offense back on the field with a 7-0 lead here in the first. Simple scenario for the Denver Broncos. A win here, they will be the #1 seed in the AFC, with Houston falling to Indianapolis earlier today. A loss by Denver, they could drop to the 3 seed depending upon what New England does against Miami. 7-0 lead for the Broncos, 3:56 to go in this first quarter. Manning will work out of the gun. On a handoff for Moreno. And O'Shawn Moreno has nowhere to go. 1-yard pickup. Let's head to New York. NFL Today update. JB and Boomer.
Patriots still in the hunt for the #1 seed, Boomer.
That's right. They get on the board right here. Tom Brady, 9 yards to Wes Welker. That's his 48th straight game with a TD pass. He's behind Drew Brees, who has 54 straight games.
Ian and Dan.
All right, JB, we'll keep an eye on that one throughout the day as well, based on how that affects the Broncos in the playoff seeding. Manning gets rid of it to Moreno. And Moreno's got a first down. 10-yard pickup, hit by the Pro Bowler Derek Johnson.
Offensive line did a great job of giving Manning an extra second on that time in the pocket to find Moreno. It took Moreno a while to beat the linebacker, but he did, and Manning put the ball where Moreno could catch it, turn up the field, pick up the first down.
Peyton Manning is 5 of 6, 69 yards.
Hurry, set.
Hillman. The elusive move by Hillman. He picks up 5. Brown with the stop. Back to New York. JB and Boomer.
All day is going for the record.
Yeah, you're right, JB. Adrian Peterson right here. He's going to take it in. from his 7 yards out. 61 so far in this game. He's 147 short of Eric Dickerson's record. Vikings lead 10-0.
Ian and Dan.
Manning on the connection to Demaryius Thomas, the physical wide receiver, dishing out some punishment and a 20-yard pickup.
Well, this is what he does so well, Ian, is he reaches out for the ball, uses his body to shield the defender away from the ball, and then gets down the field with quickness. Total package. 15
yards after the catch for Thomas. Did not make the Pro Bowl. Have to believe he's going to have some Pro Bowls in his future, the way he's played this season. Now under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Here's Manning. Look at the time. Manning connects with Thomas. Well, Brandon Flowers said it, preparing for this game, that Thomas and Decker have definitely improved from last year. The chemistry they developed with Manning has been amazing.
That's one of those double moves, a little out and up, well covered by Jaleel Brown down the field. Manning now has hit 5 different receivers in his 6 completions.
And Denver is on the move once again. First down just short of the 30. Ronnie Hillman coughs it up. Flowers has got it for Kansas City, and it's Flowers streaking down the sideline. Gets a block. Flowers the cut. Turnover Denver, and the Chiefs nearly take it the distance.
Now let's take a look to see if Hillman's knee was down before the ball came out. A Bronco is down after the fumble came out. Appears to be one of the offensive linemen. Heads up by Flowers to pick it up. 64 yards on the return. Check out Hillman's knees here. Ball is out before his right knee hits the ground. How about the job that Peyton Manning did to keep Flowers from getting into the end zone? Joel Dreesen hustled back to get in on the tackle.
Javier Arenas is who lodged the ball out. The injured Bronco on the play, Orlando Franklin. Peyton Manning was in the mix there.
Well, what he did is he took out the interference there, Tyson Hartman. That allowed Dreesen to come down the field as Flowers cut back to the inside to save the touchdown. Just what the Chiefs needed, a turnover and a huge return by Brandon Flowers.
Replay clearly showed the ball was out before the knee ever touched. So Kansas City is going to get it deep in Denver territory. The rookie Ronnie Hillman fumbling it away for the Broncos, who look to be on their way to another touchdown.
That's Hillman's second fumble of the year, first one he's lost.
First down for the Chiefs. Charles slashing his way just short of the 5-yard line. 7-yard pickup. Brian Madison with a block up front.
And you see the Chiefs changing a little bit on offense there as far as their point of attack. They've been going wide, trying to force Von Miller to make the play. This time they went up inside off tackle for a good gain on first down.
Kansas City dead last in red zone offense, converting them into touchdowns off of opportunities. 2nd and 3 for the Chiefs. Double tight end set, Moriarty and Maneri. It'll be Charles again. A blast by Charles, and he's met Vickerson, who's been heavily involved in this first quarter for Denver. No gain on the play. We're down to 20 seconds left.
Now Vickerson, 6'5", 290 pounds. Number 99 here. This forms a wall there that Charles runs into. Now, I was Kansas City, I would have run another play because they're going down to the end of the field where it's a lot bigger in this stadium and a lot louder.
End of the first in Denver. Start of the second quarter, Sports Authority Field at Mile High. Denver leading Kansas City 7-0. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew. A Broncos win, and they'll have home field advantage in the AFC playoffs after Houston faltered against Indianapolis earlier today. Kansas City, though, with an opportunity here. 3rd and 3. Quinn offline, incomplete. John Baldwin, the intended target for KC, and this has been their MO throughout the season. Chances at touchdowns, and they have to settle for field goals.
Here's Baldwin right here. He's going to work the back of the end zone, but Tony Moeaki is dragging across the field, and eventually he's going to break open. Brady Quinn with good pass protection there. Picked out the guy that had two men covering him.
Kansas City last in the NFL in scoring, 13.9 points per game. 23-yard field goal. Ryan Suckup gets Kansas City on the board. 7-3. Denver. Flowers with the fumble recovery. It turns into 3. Brandon Flowers nearly took it the distance off the fumble recovery, but the combination of Peyton Manning and Joel Dreesen helped ensure the fact that he didn't get to the end zone. It turns out to be a 4-point swing because Kansas City settles for a field goal from Suckup. Now Suckup kicks it off to Omar Bolden. Bolden filling in for Trindon Holiday. And it'll be a touchback. Bolden, the rookie out of Arizona State, 4th-round pick. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern, CBS Sports jumps into the bowl season. The USC Trojans take on the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. It's the Hyundai Sun Bowl here on CBS.
Chance to check out Marquise Lee, the best wide receiver in college football for the Trojans. Can't wait for him to play on Sundays in a couple years.
Orlando Franklin is being evaluated in the locker room for an injury. Went off on that play where Hillman fumbled the ball. So Chris Clark is in at right tackle.
Hurry!
1st and 10 for Denver. Flag is thrown.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
First time we've heard from Ed Hockley, now in his 21st season as a referee in the NFL.
And that is an unusual penalty. Get the playoff. Amazing.
Denver number 4 in total offense, 392 yards per game, 2nd in scoring behind New England. Manning with pressure coming, just lets it fly, and Caldwell could not haul it in. Derek Johnson among those supplying the heat on Peyton Manning.
And the money player, Eric Berry. This is his position here as a linebacker in the nickel. Watch the pressure that he and Johnson bring as Berry beats the block of Moreno. Romeo Crennel says they've got to affect the front, the middle of the pocket for Manning so he can't step up. They did a great job that time.
No, Sean Moreno is thrown down. That play just looked disjointed on the handoff by Peyton Manning. Sean Smith filling in for the injured Tyson Jackson, and Smith, the 9-year veteran, makes the play.
And a lot of people think that Smith may have grabbed the face mask of Moreno on this play. There he is, number 90. Well, he had a pretty good grab of inside the shoulder pad, but that's a legal tackle between the tackles. You can horse collar a running back in that part of the field.
So now it's a 3rd and 18. Jacob Hester is on the field. 4 receivers set.
Boy, what has happened to the Broncos after that fumble? 3 disastrous plays here in a row.
They're making our call.
What we're hearing there is they're making our calls.
Number 78, 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, that was Zane Beadles who yelled to Ed Hockley that the Chiefs are jamming the signals of Peyton Manning here, causing the Broncos to jump off sides. Here's Beadles, and here's the right tackle. That's Chris Clark.
So now a 3rd and 23 as Hester gets the carry up the middle. Denver will punt. Dontari Poe with the tackle, a 6-yard pickup. Some pushing and shoving after the play, which Ramirez is involved in, as is Clark. Ed Hockley getting in front of Zane Beadles.
You know, Hockley's got those guns. He can get in between a lot of guys.
Oh, they're covered up. It's a little chilly.
They're still there, though.
They're still there. And Britton Colquitt, younger brother of Dustin Colquitt, of course, the dad, Craig, NFL punter for 8 years in the NFL. Nearly blocked by Kansas City. Wiley, the return man. Fair catch called for at the 35-yard line, a 51-yard punt. That's something you don't see all that often, at least second half of the year. The Broncos offense out of sorts. Denver with 137 total yards of offense. Kansas City with 47. And it's the Broncos with a 7-3 lead over Kansas City. Houston lost to Indianapolis earlier today, so Denver can capture the #1 seed with a win here over the Chiefs. Thrown outside to Charles, and Charles working that sideline for 14 yards on the catch and run. Keep your fantasy football season going with Playoff Challenge and compete throughout the postseason for a chance to win up to $1,600. Sign up now at cbssports.com/challenge. First down for Kansas City at the 49-yard line. Still early in the second quarter. Up the middle, Drone will pick up 3 yards. Justin Bannon among those there defensively for Denver.
Really important for Kansas City to substitute frequently at the running back position. It's such a demanding position physically, and in this thin air, we've already seen Drone with a couple of carries. Charles, of course, and Peyton Hillis has gotten his hands on the ball.
We asked Jamal Charles, who did you admire growing up? What running backs? And he mentioned Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith, who grew up in Texas. But then he mentioned the Broncos, and he was a fan of Elway and Davis. Charles, he just has such ability when he gets to the perimeter. 13 yards for Charles.
Watch him follow his blocker here. That's John Asamoah. Good patience here. Asamoah, the good block on Von Miller. And that's all Charles needs, is just a little bit of daylight to the outside. Good vision, great acceleration.
Career 5.8 yards per carry. That is #1 in NFL history. Fake the handoff. Quinn over the middle. He hits his man, Moeaki. And the Chiefs are moving the ball inside the 20 now, working against Raheem Moore, the safety out of UCLA. That covers 16 yards.
And the play action passing working here. Moeaki comes off the line of scrimmage untouched. And Brady Quinn fires a good catchable ball to him now. But when you run the ball as well as the Chiefs have been doing, that play action is going to be good for them.
Brady Quinn, a free agent after this season. His future is uncertain. He wants to put some good stuff on tape if he can. Peyton Hillis. And Hillis had his body pushed in the right direction for Kansas City. So give him a gain of 5.5 yards on the play. Woodyard over there.
We're really seeing a lot of this in the NFL now, where the offensive linemen recognize that the running back is not down, so they will get right on top of him and push him towards the goal line. That time it really helped out Hillis because he had a short gain until his big guys came to his rescue.
Yeah, right now Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator, mixing it up at the running back position. Hillis again, he went over 100 last week in the loss to Indianapolis, and he's got nothing there. Moore read it well. No gain on the play. Peyton Hillis, 15 carries, 101 yards. His first 100-yard game as a Chief in that 20-13 loss to Indy.
And you wonder why Hillis would be running to the outside like that. Well, you got to change things up. You can't always run Hillis between the tackles and Charles to the outside. Hillis has decent speed, but Raheem Moore, a good job of forcing that edge.
Red zone struggles for Kansas City throughout the season. This is a 3rd and 6 now for the Chiefs. Shotgun Quinn. Short drop. End zone. Too high. Moeaki, the intended target, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, good pressure by Derek Wolfe. You talked about his sacks and one in each of the last 2 games. And he's going to be the reason that Brady Quinn has hurried on this throw. He just overpowers Eric Winston, takes the inside route to the quarterback.
33-yard field goal attempt for Suckup. Over 100 points this season. And Suckup misses it.
That's kind of the way this season has gone for Kansas City. Twice now in the red zone, unable to come away with touchdowns, and just have one measly field goal to show for it. Good snap, good hold. Bad kick.
Actually expecting some snow here in the Denver area over the next couple of days. Thought your fantasy season was over? It's not. NFL Playoff Challenge is back, and it's better than ever. You could win a trip to Super Bowl 48 in 2014. Play today, NFL.com/fantasy. Ball's at the Denver 24-yard line. Broncos take over after the miss from Ryan Suckup. Denver with a 7-3 lead. Trying to get back into a rhythm here offensively with no Sean Moreno. Picks up 2 yards running inside. Ropati Patoi Tua in on the stop.
Well, Denver started the game very fast, went right down the field, got in the end zone. But since that Hillman fumble, they have looked like a totally different offense.
First meeting, 17-9, Denver over Kansas City on November the 25th. Pass to the outside, caught by Virgil Green. Second-year tight end from Nevada. His 4th catch of the season. 11 yards and a first down. Orlando Franklin is back in there for Denver on the right side of that Broncos offensive line, number 74. Manning is now 8 of 10, 124 yards, 8:50 to go in this first half. Take the handoff, rush is coming, Manning gets rid of it. Good hands by Thomas. Demaryius Thomas with a clean catch for 9 yards as Manning was being chased down by Hali.
Yeah, showing real good wheels here to get away from Hali. Hali with 9 sacks on the season. Another catch for Demaryius Thomas.
How about Manning wearing the glove? Wore it last week here in Denver. And going for the glove again here today. Not that cold, about 40 degrees right now here in the Mile High City. 2nd and 1. It'll be a running play. Moreno is chopped down, but it is enough for a first down.
Yeah, I talked to him about the glove in practice on Friday, and he said it helps his grip, actually. These are the old days. His throwing motion with the Indianapolis Colts, it's just about the same to me, doesn't it? But there's the glove on his right hand, and it helps his grip. He feels very confident in it.
Manning now 9 of 11, 133 yards. Lance Ball is in there. Manning throws, and he's got Decker. Decker walking the tightrope. First down. Short of the 40-yard line as Houston couldn't bring him down initially. That's a 10-yard hookup. New England now with a 14-0 lead on Miami. Houston in jeopardy of dropping down to the 3 seed in the AFC.
That's going to be a long, lonely flight home for the Texans from Indianapolis going on right now. A lot of questions about that football team.
New set of downs for Denver. Come up on 7 minutes to go in this first half. Manning on time, and it's Joel Dreesen. Dreesen now with a catch for 40 on the season. We head to New York. JB and Boomer.
You saw the New England score. Boomer's got the play.
Well, it's 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. There goes Stephen Ridley barreling it in. They go up 14-0 over the Dolphins. That was 13 plays, 92 yards. They win, they secure the number 2 seed. If Denver loses, they'll get the number 1 seed.
The bird and the beard.
All right, JP and Boomer. Right now, Denver leads Kansas City 7-3, and they're looking for more. On a first down at the Kansas City 30-yard line. Moreno cutting to the outside. No Sean Moreno. Angles out of bounds. Good effort by Moreno, pressing at the line and then shooting to the perimeter.
Watch as Kendrick Lewis, 23, will come up here, dive at the legs of Moreno. That's what you call a shifty move right there, keeping his legs away from the tackler for 17 yards.
And they're inside the 15. This time it's Ball. Wonder if Ronnie Hillman's going to get another opportunity after the fumble.
Now, coaches have a way of thinking long and hard about that type of decision.
Well, it was such a momentum buster. Denver had the 7-0 lead. They were driving. Kansas City wasn't stopping them, and The Hillman fumble turned into a Flowers recovery that nearly went all the way for the touchdown. 2nd and 8 now for Denver. They've got a 7-3 lead. Manning, he's got time, throws, end zone, caught, Decker, touchdown Broncos.
Well, Manning has such great confidence in both Decker and Thomas because of their size and their ability to catch the ball away from their body, that he'll put it out there. Right side of the screen, watch Decker come and work the back of the end zone. Pretty good coverage right there by Arenas. But Arenas is 5'9", Decker at 6'3". Another touchdown for Decker, 12 now on the season.
And that Thomas-Decker combination, first 1,000-yard pair since Rod Smith and Ashley Lilly in 2004. Extra point from Prater is good. Denver extends the lead. It's a Bronco bolt into the stands. Longest winning streak in the NFL. 10 straight victories for the Broncos. Chance to make it 11 in a row. And with that win, it would secure the #1 seed in the AFC. 9 plays, 76 yards. It took 4 minutes, culminating on the Manning to Decker 11-yard touchdown to give Denver the 14-3 lead. Prater will now kick it off to Devin Wiley. This is returnable. Wiley from the 5. Wiley turns it upfield and loses the ball right at the end of the play. It is recovered by Kansas City.
They're going to say he was down at the 24-yard line. So no. Kansas City recovered anyway. Ball was punched out there. Fine job of getting that ball out for the Broncos by Steven Johnson. Chiefs recover anyway, but they get an extra 4 yards on the ruling.
First down at the 24-yard line. 5 receivers set for Kansas City. 5:23 to go in this first half. Quinn, lunging attempt by McCluster. Could not bring it in cleanly, and it's incomplete. Now our Fouts focus, the precision of Peyton Manning.
Well, you don't become a 4-time NFL MVP without being a student of the game. And you can bet Peyton Manning remembers the catch. Joe Montana to Dwight Clark in the 81 NFC Championship game. The window of opportunity is always open when throwing to a tall receiver. Throw it where only your man can make the play. And Manning has taken advantage of his 6'3" receivers, Thomas and Decker. 21 of his 35 touchdown passes have gone to those two.
166 yards and a touchdown for Manning in this first half. Quinn making a change here. Timeout. Kansas City in a 14-3 hole here in the second quarter.
Check out Peyton Manning stepping up into the pocket, clear throwing lane, vision to the back of the end zone. Puts the ball up high and away from the defender to Eric Decker. 5 for 5 on that drive for Manning.
After the timeout, a 2nd and 10 now for the Chiefs. Charles moving backwards because of Von Miller, the Pro Bowler.
Yeah, the defense always talks about, well, we got to set the edge. Well, here is setting the edge by number 53, 58, straight up the field for the Broncos. Beats the block of the fullback, Patrick DeMarco, and drops Charles.
Von Miller came in, 26 tackles for a loss. Make it 27.
Yep.
3rd and 14. Crowd is deafening. Quinn to Drone, and Drone hit from behind. He's not going to have nearly enough. Elvis Dumerville in on that play, a 5-yard pickup and a flag thrown. Well, we're going to have to read lips here on Ed Hockley.
Looked like they were lining up in the neutral zone there were the Broncos, so that would be a free 5 for Kansas City.
So another chance here for the Chiefs, 4:25 and ticking left in this first half. Denver last week, a season-high 11 penalties in the 34-12 win over Cleveland. They have not lost a game in the AFC West this year. They're 5-0. Kansas City has not won a game within the division. In fact, they haven't won a game in the conference. Quinn beats the play clock. Able to hit McCluster. 5-yard pickup. And short of a first down.
I just don't know how you make this throw knowing you need 10 yards or at least to pick up the first down, and you settle for a short crossing route to Dexter McCluster, who's well covered, has no chance of making the yardage after the catch.
Denver has dominated the AFC West at 12-3. And it all turned halftime early in the season against San Diego, trailing 24-0. The come from behind victory as Colquitt boots it and touched by the Chiefs down the field. Denver will have it deep in their own territory inside the 10. Broncos with a 14-3 lead, #1 seed on the line. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report, JB and Company, latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. They spot the football at the 11-yard line for Denver, 14-3 lead for the Broncos. Lots of smiles right now here in the Mile High City because a win means home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. 3:19 to play in the second quarter. No Sean Moreno in the backfield. It's Moreno. Cut down. Moreno hit by Johnson. 2.5-yard gain on the play. You know, we talked to John Fox about Peyton Manning. He said, look, he's been the consummate pro. But Fox said that Peyton does get on everyone, from the turf guy to the food guy. He'll go up to the food guy and say, hey, isn't there more nutritional foods than the one that you're serving? Meaning that there's a high standard that Manning has certainly grown accustomed to. But, you know, you were a quarterback in this league for so long, Dan. That's part of the job description.
Yeah, some people may not like you as long as they respect you, and everybody respects Peyton Manning, and he is a perfectionist. There's no question about that. He demands a lot of everybody, but he doesn't demand any more from them than he demands from himself.
Well, Dan, most of our group likes you, and nobody respects you.
Feeling is mutual. Bunch of losers.
3rd and 6. Manning knocked up in the air, incomplete, and it was Johnson who got a piece of it, and the Broncos go 3 and out. Did you question the Chargers food guy a lot about the nutritional value?
Excuse me. We did not have a food guy.
You didn't have a food guy.
We brown bagged it every day.
Gotcha.
And when we were through eating, we put the bags over our head.
It's 4th down for Denver. 14-3 lead. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our crew, producer Bob Monsbach, director Suzanne Smith, associate directors Jonathan Siegel, Todd Carrick, broadcast associates Steve Murphy and Stephen Florival. Devin Wiley, the return man, off the Colquitt punt. Wiley trying to sidestep, and he is spun down with a flag thrown just across the 45-yard line by Virgil Green. 55-yard punt, 15-yard return for Wiley.
During the return, holding by the receiving team, number 38. It's a 10-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. Kansas City keeps the ball. First down.
So back it up. Nico Thorpe on the penalty. Week 12. Broncos at the Chiefs. Peyton Manning had a couple of touchdown passes. One to Jacob Tamme from 7 yards out. Another 30-yarder to Demaryius Thomas. Denver led late. But Brady Quinn intercepted by David Bruton on the final play of the game. Broncos win it 17-9. Well, Romeo Crennel, his future very much up in the air. Clark Hunt, the chairman and CEO of the Chiefs, will make a decision on Crennel and general manager Scott Pioli. On first down, Quinn's pass hit at the line of scrimmage and falls down incomplete as we hit the 2-minute warning here in the second quarter. Denver's got a 14-3 lead over Kansas City, a win, and they're the #1 seed in the AFC. 1:59 to play in this first half. Denver with a 14-3 lead on Kansas City. Working from the gun. Quinn in trouble, and he is sacked. Derek Wolfe. 3 straight games Wolfe has gotten to the quarterback, and a timeout called with 1:46 to play in this first half. Denver has 1 timeout remaining.
Here's Wolfe here, but there's so much attention paid to the edge rushers, Dumerville and Von Miller, that Wolfe is going to get a lot more sacks. He's got one-on-one blocking there. Brian Madison trying to keep him out of the way, and he is not up to the task that time. 3rd sack in 3 games for Wolfe.
And a reminder coming up, Verizon halftime report, JB and the rest of the gang, latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. They put time on the clock, 1:53 now left in this second quarter. 14-3, Denver in front. 5 straight road losses for Kansas City and just 43 points in those 5 games. They've been outscored in the second quarter this season, 107-51 entering action. Quinn goes down. Raheem Moore.
Yeah, Raheem Moore picks up his first sack of his NFL career here, as Sean Drone was responsible for picking him up. A little bit of confusion by Drone, and the delayed blitz by Moore gets home. Here he is. Watch as he comes up, hesitates a bit, and then beats the block here of Sean Drone.
Pressure was coming from all angles.
Robert Ayers was in there as well.
Denver used its final timeout. Brady Quinn sacked twice, hurried 5 times, knocked down 5 times. 1 batted ball. He'll sit down with Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator. Dustin Colquitt on to punt it. Jim Leonard is the return man. Colquitt did not get all of this one. Bounces straight up in the air at the 40. And the Chiefs will down it right in that area. 36-yard punt. Not only does CBS have the #1 comedy and drama and the top news shows, but this season more people watch the NFL on CBS than on any other network. And for that, we thank you very much, America. 14-3, Denver leading Kansas City. 1:37 to play. Plenty of time for Peyton Manning to work with. Kansas City had the ball on that possession for 26 seconds. Shotgun, Manning, and the crowd gets rid of it and floats it over to Stokely.
It's amazing how many passes he completes to a guy that is covered as well as he can be covered. Good pressure by the Chiefs, good coverage in the secondary. Stokely still makes the catch.
11 yards and a first down for Denver. Running play. And Moreno is stood up. Derek Johnson limits him to a gain of 2 along with Houston. We're down to 1:05 left. Denver has no timeouts remaining. Target line for Matt Prater, career long of 59 yards. Out of the pocket, Manning on the move, and he's got his man Tammy. First time in Denver Bronco history they have 5 players with at least 40 receptions.
You say thank you, Peyton Manning, distributing the ball today. He's hit 7 different, that's now 8 different receivers for Denver.
12th time in his career that he has led his team to the playoffs, ties Brett Favre for the most in NFL history. New set of downs for Denver. They are inside the 35 of Kansas City. 51 seconds to play in this first half. Manning tries the quick hitter, and Decker unable to bring it in. Seems to be a 2-horse race for MVP with Peyton Manning and Adrian Peterson. J.J. Watt on the periphery. Tom Brady, outstanding year. Aaron Rodgers, great year. But it's going to come down to Manning and Peterson.
Yeah, and they both will be vying for the comeback player of the year as well.
That's right.
Manning has thrown 35 touchdown passes this season, second most in his soon-to-be Hall of Fame career.
Peterson 68 rushing yards today, so he's closing in on 2,000. But the Dickerson record appears to be a tall order. Play clock is down to 2. Manning gets everybody orchestrated. And it's Stokely again. They have no timeouts to work with here. Down to 37 seconds left. Denver has to work quickly.
Well, they work quickly all the time. I don't think that's going to be a problem. They're already well within Prater's field goal range.
On a give. And Hester has got a first down. They did not have enough for a first down, so they couldn't spike the ball. And now they can. 16 seconds left.
Plenty of time for Manning to take a couple of shots into the end zone. Remember those tall receivers we've been talking about. Both Decker and Thomas are at 6'3". And you combine that with Tammy at 6'3" and Dreesen at 6'4". Nobody in the Chiefs secondary is taller than 6 feet.
They could always run the orange barrel reroute play that they have.
Really?
Manning. Oh, what a grab! Eric Decker. Touchdown, Broncos.
And you see how he spikes the ball with his left hand? He's left-handed. He made a left-handed, one-handed catch of that strike from Manning. There's the left hand. He bobbles it, takes it to the ground, has full possession as he hits the ground. Spectacular.
This is a confident group. Decker said so many unselfish guys on this roster. Very strong relationships, friendships inside and outside the locker room. Best team he's ever played on, and they're showing it. 21-3 lead for Denver. A chance to finish the regular season on an 11-game winning streak, 13-3, and the #1 seed in the AFC, and they're doing their part in this first half to make that a reality.
Let's go back and take another look at this. You can wear any kind of hat when you make catches like this. Manning fires this ball, didn't put a lot of air underneath it, but put it to the strong hand of Decker, who bobbled it, made sure the catch, and then lets everybody know about it. It's a fabulous play. Yeah, there's the hat.
You like that hat?
Yeah, I got one like that. It's not orange and blue, but it's got the flaps.
I have a feeling it might be green.
Green and yellow, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe.
The big O on the side?
Maybe.
Go Ducks.
21-3. Denver, 8 plays, 59 yards. It took 1:27. And Peyton Manning on the money.
And they did it with no timeouts.
That's right.
Hurry up offense, so much a part of what they do. Maybe the key play on that was the play where they gave the ball to Hester to pick up that first down. Very next play, they're in the end zone.
So 10 seconds remain. Matt Prater will kick it off to Devin Wiley. Wiley on the scoop. Wiley stays on his feet. And finally brought down just short of the 30-yard line. 2 seconds remaining on the clock.
The two happiest guys in Denver when the Broncos signed Peyton Manning had to be Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker. Look at the difference a year makes and a great quarterback makes.
Combined this season, 170 catches, 2,416 yards, and 22 touchdowns. Peyton Manning has set the Broncos record for passing yards in a season, topping the previous mark by Jay Cutler. And Denver is 1/2 away from capturing the #1 seed in the AFC. A 21-3 lead over Kansas City at the break. Best regular season in franchise history was '98 when they went 14-2 and they won the Super Bowl. Chance to go 13-3 with a win here today. Verizon Halftime Report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Start of the third quarter here in Denver, 21-3 lead for the Broncos over the Chiefs. Welcome back to the broadcast booth, everybody. Ian Eagle, along with my Hall of Fame partner, Dan Fouts. For Denver, it's pretty simple. They know exactly what's on the line. With the Houston loss earlier today to Indianapolis, a Denver win, they get the #1 seed in the AFC. They've executed well, and Peyton Manning, as usual, right in the middle of it.
Well, he's been in the middle of it for so many years. He's just been better and better, and this first half was a good example of just how good he is as a football player. That kept Brandon Flowers from the end zone. Basically a 4-point play, then a couple of great touchdown passes to Eric Decker. Decker with 5 catches for 60 yards in that first half. And bad news for Kansas City, the Broncos get the ball to start the second half.
First half numbers, 218 yards through the air, 277 overall. The one turnover by Denver, the Hillman fumble. 18 first downs for the Broncos. So Denver's got the big lead over Kansas City. The Broncos trying to move to 13-3 and secure home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
You look at the Broncos as they're lining up for this kickoff. They're expecting an onside kick from Kansas City.
Ryan Suckup will kick it for the Chiefs. A loss today for Kansas City. They'll have the #1 pick in the 2013 NFL Draft. Omar Bolden's going to take a knee, and Denver will have it at the 20-yard line. Only losses for the Broncos this season came to Atlanta, to Houston, and to New England. Broncos were 4-12 in 2010 and improved to 8-8 last year with Tim Tebow at the helm. Got to the playoffs, surprised everybody by beating Pittsburgh in the wild card round, and then got beaten soundly by the New England Patriots. Changes made in the offseason. The biggest one, of course, Peyton Manning coming in after he parted ways with the Indianapolis Colts, and everything has changed for the Broncos now. A legitimate Super Bowl threat.
And it was a real leap of faith by John Elway to trade Tim Tebow away, bring Manning in after 4 neck surgeries, not knowing if he could even play. Boy, has he played.
Timeout called by Manning before we run the first play of the third quarter. Denver 21, Kansas City 3. We start playing this second half. Sean Moreno keeps those legs churning and picks up extra yardage. 8 yards overall, depending on the spot. John Elway, Executive VP of Football Operations, certainly a candidate for Executive of the Year. Ryan Grigson from Indianapolis very well could win the award, but Elway's got to be in the mix.
A lot of miserable Jays trying to match touchdowns with that guy. Fantastic quarterback, turned into a pretty good VP.
Pushing all the right buttons for this franchise. Moreno lowers the shoulder, picks up 5 and a first down for Denver. Good block by Orlando Franklin. John Elway, couple of Super Bowl titles. Led this Bronco team from 83 to 98 and went out on top. A Super Bowl champion. Lance Ball, we have not seen Hillman since the fumble, so Ball has benefited in terms of carries. That's a 6-yard gain for the 4th-year running back out of Maryland. Combination of Patoe Tua and Hartman bring him down.
And what we're seeing now is the Broncos oxymoron offense. It's a hurry-up, slow-down offense. They hurry up to the line of scrimmage, but Manning will take a look at the play clock and take his time before getting the ball snapped and then hand it off to a running back to kill more time off, take more time off the clock.
2nd and 4 now. It's Ball again. Big hole. Lance Ball brought down at the 40-yard line. The burst of speed from Ball for 22 yards.
Well, they're just trying to break the spirit of the Kansas City Chiefs now, coming out, start the second half with everything staying on the ground, and Ball benefits from a big hole on the right side behind Franklin and Cooper.
Longest run of the season for Ball. Moreno is back in there. And Moreno is trampled down for no gain as Houston and Flowers combine.
Actually, Manny Ramirez was in at right guard. Chris Cooper coming back from injury. John Fox told us that wanted to get him back into the routine, give him a couple of snaps today. So we may see Cooper at some point, but he's had injuries throughout the year, and Ramirez has done a good job at that right guard position.
2nd and 10 now for Denver. First possession of their second half. Play fake. Manning. Out route. Hauled in by Thomas. They are just in sync. 9 yards on the clean catch by Thomas.
Now watch how sharp this route is, and he comes back towards the line of scrimmage. That allows so much more room for Manning to get the ball out in front and make it really tough on Jalil Brown to try to make a play on the ball.
On a 3rd and 1 now for Denver. Motion man is Willis. Ball gets the carry. Second effort. And it is enough for a first down. Lance Ball, an undrafted free agent. He was on practice squads with St. Louis, Indianapolis, Tennessee, and finally found a home with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Dontari Poe does a good job of getting penetration, forcing Ball to the outside, but watch the linemen now all get in and push him forward. And Ball does his part by keeping his legs going. It's illegal to push the runner, although they do often, but you can push everybody around the runner.
Manning on the quick hitter, catch and run by Thomas. And just like that, he chews up yardage. That's an 11-yard pickup and another first down working against Arenas and Houston.
Mistake in the secondary for Kansas City. Arenas was playing off about 12 yards. Manning saw it quickly, got the ball out to Thomas for easy completion and yardage.
Mike McCoy continues to call the right plays at the right time. Brandon Flowers called Peyton Manning the best offensive coordinator in the NFL at the line of scrimmage.
He's really redefined the way the quarterback position's played. His years in Kansas City with the great offense coordinator Tom Moore and then Clyde Christensen. Manning has taken what they've taught him, brought it here to Denver, and Mike McCoy's done a good job of assimilating it all, meshing it with his offense.
Peyton Manning, year after year, big numbers for Indianapolis. Went 3-13 his rookie year, and then after that, it all clicked. One of the all-time greats. Signed a 5-year, $96 million deal with the Broncos. Here is Moreno trying to take it upfield, picks up 3 yards. McCoy is certainly going to get some calls and may actually have some interviews this week for head coaching jobs because Denver will have a bye with the victory. He is allowed to go out and interview for jobs for teams that want to fill that position quickly.
Yeah, and the job he's done the last 2 years is really the reason why he should get heavy consideration. I mean, what he did in committing to the Tebow type of offense last year and then making sure that it all clicked this year with Manning and his style, that's what great coaches are all about, fitting their system to their players.
That was something the Jets were not willing to do, make the changes offensively. Manning. Oh, it's Thomas! Wow. Demaryius Thomas with the touchdown! Spectacular grab!
And this is what we were talking about, giving your tall receivers a chance to make the catch, throwing the ball where only they can catch it over the smaller defensive backs. But do you count on a one-handed catch or 2 one-handed catches in one game? Thomas with the right hand. It was Decker with the left hand earlier. Same result both times.
Body control and concentration. Demaryius Thomas. Denver will take a 28-3 lead here in the third quarter. The highest scoring second half team in NFL history, the Denver Broncos. Thomas, sheer brilliance for Denver on offense. Now they're not playing hockey in the NHL, but they are playing it over at City Park here in Denver. 28-3 lead.
Oh, shot on goal, he scores!
That's in the crate? Was that in the crate?
No, I shot it wide, I guess. The goalposts are 10 feet high. Look where Thomas goes up to get this. He's up 11 feet off the ground with that right hand. Great control of his hand and his feet.
The impressive vertical from Thomas, and your first reaction, even from this angle, is, well, Peyton's throwing it away. It's a high ball. He's just going to live to see another day.
But it's the back of the end zone that's the key. Defensive backs have trouble going all the way to the throw it high towards the back of the end zone, and if they're 6'3" and taller, the results are usually pretty good.
Matt Prater drills it. Wiley will take a knee. Kansas City will have it at the 20. Demaryius Thomas. It has been a highlight reel for Thomas, Decker, and Manning today and throughout the season. Denver in control, a 28-3 lead, and a win means the #1 seed in the AFC. Kansas City with the football, 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. Broncos crowd the line. Quinn on a dump off. Charles unable to catch it. It's incomplete. Wednesday in primetime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, and Phil Sin showcase America's favorite game with their own unique style. It's inside the NFL, and it's Wednesday on Showtime. Quinn is now 6 of 12 for just 44 yards. On a give to Drone. Leans forward across the 25, picks up 7 yards. Drone is the first-year running back out of North Carolina. Mitch Unrein with the tackle for Denver.
A chance for the Broncos now to get some of their regulars out of this game. See Unrein now playing at the defensive tackle spot. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see quite an exodus on both sides of the ball for Denver.
Jamal Charles bangs his way for a first down across the 30-yard line, hit by DJ Williams. But that begs the question, Dan, what about Peyton Manning? How long do you stick with Peyton Manning in a game like this?
If I were John Fox, I'd have the equipment man go over and grab his helmet and run into the locker room and put it in a safe and not let him anywhere near that safe.
So you would take him out now?
I would take him out now. I think he's done good enough today.
Just about 8 minutes to go in this third quarter. Charles tried to double back, and there was nothing there. He loses 2 yards on the play, and an injured Chief on the play as well. Jeff Allen grabbing his left arm. So the rookie Allen had slid over to left tackle for Donald Stevenson. Madison in at left guard. We'll take a break here. Allen was able to walk off the field for Kansas City, but a change. Eric Winston now in at left tackle, and Asamoah moves over to right tackle, and it's a problem for Kansas City. Keith Brooking, the veteran, comes firing through.
That's his first sack as a Denver Bronco. Here he is, totally unblocked. But a lot of confusion there. And that offensive line, that's what happens when one of your guys goes out. A couple of guys have been hurt up front now for Kansas City, and Brooking takes advantage of it.
What did he tell our group? That he has thought about Atlanta and Denver in the Super Bowl. He's a former Falcon. Jamal Charles is brought down along the sideline by Chris Harris.
And this has been the formula that's been so successful for the Broncos. Having Manning get a lead in that first half, build upon it, force your opponent to throw the ball, and then you turn loose the pass rush. Von Miller and Elvis Dumerville. And now we see Brookings. We saw Derek Wolfe earlier. It'll be a long afternoon for Brady Quinn.
Another punt from Colquitt. Jim Leonard, fair catch called for at the 21. That's where Denver will have it with a 28-3 lead. 6:40 to go in the third from the Mile High City.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. Nationwide 4G coverage from coast to coast. And by Acura. Acura, advance.
Penalty marker thrown far side of the field at the 19-yard line.
That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the punt. First down.
Well, that's the backup quarterback, Brock Osweiler. Does he have the look of a guy that could be coming in anytime soon to you, Dan?
Well, he's starting to stretch a little there. You see him? Yeah,
Oh, there's a stretch.
Yeah, he's getting both legs warmed up. I'm not sure he's going to be able to wear the stocking cap, though.
Osweiler has not attempted a pass in his rookie season out of Arizona State. He has become the victory formation guy.
Well, he's improved each week, too. He said that the first couple of weeks he would go down on and lose 3 yards. The last couple of weeks it's just been a yard and a half.
Denver had 12 men on the field. That was the penalty from Ed Hockley. Up the middle, Noshawn Moreno. Three-yard pickup for Moreno.
And now the other question is, remember Moreno got a little bit dinged up in that first quarter. You wonder about getting him out of the game. A lot of decisions have to be made here as we wind this one down for John Fox. Looking forward, they get a week off now with the bye.
12 men on the field was against Kansas City, and that's why the ball was advanced. Virgil Green with the catch and the run up the field for 8 yards on the play and a first down for Denver.
That's 2 catches this afternoon for Virgil Green. Broncos have a lot of weapons on their offense. Tight ends Dreesen and Tammy. I haven't seen Tammy get involved, but he was so important last week with a couple of big catches.
Noshawn Moreno remains in the backfield. 5:40 to play in the third. Here's Moreno showing patience, but nothing ever developed on the outside. Eric Berry read it well.
Well, the highlight reel for Denver's getting real fat. A couple of touchdown passes to Eric Decker. One-handed, left-handed beauty there. How about Demaryius Thomas matching Decker with the right-handed, one-handed touchdown catch.
Peyton Manning on the day, 21 of 26, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns. His 73rd career 3-touchdown game. Also his 9th 12-win season. 2nd and 12. Manning throws a strike to Eric Decker. That's good for 9 yards.
And you got to give this offensive line of Denver a lot of credit for protecting the 36-year-old Manning. No sacks today against a team that can really bring it off the corner. Justin Houston came into the game with 10 sacks. Tamba Hali had 9 sacks on the season. We haven't called their name at all today, getting after Peyton Manning.
Jacob Hester remains in there on a 3rd and 3 now for Denver, looking to convert with 4:20 to go in the third.
29, fight!
4 of 6 on third downs here this afternoon. Manning. Incomplete and a flag thrown. It'll be Tyson Hartman in a matchup with Tammy.
This ball hit Hartman right in the back, but he was never looking for the ball. He reached back on this back shoulder
Pass
fade.
interference, defense. Number 31. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Hartman not agreeing with the call. Here they are on the outside. Tammy trying to get back to the ball. He's held right there. It's tough to argue that call.
Tyson Hartman, rookie out of Kansas State. So that keeps this drive alive. First down just short of the Kansas City 40-yard line.
Hurry, hurry!
Running play to Ball. And Lance Ball, they converge on Ball, a 2.5-yard gain as Toribio was in on that stop. Well, some records that could be broken or were broken. Adrian Peterson now 2,015 rushing yards. 90 yards away from Eric Dickerson's mark. Calvin Johnson, the new single-season mark. Alden Smith, 19 and a half sacks. That's 3 shy of Michael Strahan. J.J. Watt did not get it. Blair Walsh has had a big season for Minnesota. The rookie kicker. Fake the handoff. Manning, deep ball. Oh, great snare by Thomas. Demaryius Thomas is a star.
It's like a broken record. Reaching out with his hands. Arenas with pretty good coverage that time, but no match for Demaryius Thomas.
Manning cracks the 300-yard plateau. He's at 304. Denver was trying to get lined up and work quickly here.
Manning demanding a new play clock. He got it, but he wanted to hurry up, get the Broncos at the line of scrimmage before the Chiefs could substitute.
First and goal for Denver inside the 5. Manning making sure everybody's on the same page. Movement. Broncos pointed to Kansas City.
It looked like Jarrell Powell was offsides as he drilled Copen.
Manning still giving it to Hockley.
Encroachment, defense, number 95. After the kick to the goal, it's first down.
Now, after the catch by Demaryius Thomas, which was a beauty, Manning was trying to hustle his team up to the line of scrimmage. He got him up there, got them set, and Ed Hockley stepped in and stopped the proceedings, allowed Kansas City to substitute. I don't know why he would allow that, because Denver did not substitute.
Well, John Fox said Peyton Manning gets on everyone. That includes officials.
Sometimes it's fun to get on an official, especially when you know you're right and he's wrong.
6 offensive linemen now for Denver. Fake the handout. Manning has time, throws, almost intercepted by Johnson. Joel Dreesen, the intended receiver for Denver, too high.
The other part of it, being a great quarterback, is being greedy. And this is what Manning is on this play. It looked like Dreesen stopped his route. Derek Johnson has to spin around to try to make that interception, but miscommunication there between Dreesen and Manning.
First incompletion of the half for Peyton Manning. This is now second and goal. Ball and Hester in the backfield with Unrein. Handoff. Hester just runs into a pile, and there's nowhere to go. A flag is thrown on the far side.
It's like Kansas City lined up in the neutral zone. Another mistake for the Chiefs.
Offside, defense, number 99, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal. Down.
99 is Edgar Jones.
And that's Edgar Jones' helmet right there, clearly where it shouldn't be.
So now second and goal for Denver inside the 1. 2 minutes to go in the third. Green, the motion man. Manning on a give. Lance ball doesn't get there. Patoi Tua met him and forced ball the other way.
Ropati Patoi Tua is a huge man at 6'8", 315 pounds. Of former Washington State Cougar, goes low, and he just forces ball back into the backfield to give him forward progress to the 1-yard line.
Third and goal for Denver, a 28-3 lead. 9th play of the drive. Just over a minute left in this third quarter. Hester sets up in the slot. He'll go in motion. Manning on a give for ball. Ball steamrolls in for the touchdown. Home field advantage. Denver can taste it.
You know, with all the shifting by Jacob Hester moving him in and out and then back in and setting him. It distracted the Chiefs to a point where I think they lost track of where ball was. Good kick out block by Manny Ramirez, and the ball gets in easily.
Another extra point for Matt Prater. 35-3 Broncos. John Fox, Peyton Manning, they've been having a ball for the last 2.5 months. Well, those 3 letters MVP could be very appropriate when they announce the awards in early February. That's pretty direct. Cardboard signed.
That's the best one yet.
That is right to the point, isn't it?
Well, you guarantee you're going to get on CBS television with that sign.
There's no doubt. Peyton Manning, 23 of 29, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns. And more importantly for Denver, a 35-3 lead after learning earlier that Houston had lost to Indianapolis, a win against Kansas City, and they clinched the #1 seed. Wiley on the return and spilled out at the 23-yard line by Steven Johnson on special teams. Tonight on 60 Minutes, a robotic breakthrough that is stunning the medical world. Plus, film director Judd Apatow on 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS.
Well, I guess 35 points is enough for John Fox to go to the bullpen.
Brock Osweiler warming up, the rookie out of Arizona State. And it looks like he's going to get his opportunity. Peyton Manning has layers. Looking at some pictures from upstairs. And we've got 59 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Ball spotted at the 23-yard line. Cyrus Gray is in at running back. Quinn steps up. Quinn is sacked, and it's Von Miller. 18.5 sacks, adding to his single-season Bronco record.
Well, he normally lines up on the left side of the defense. This time he's on the right side. And with his speed and quickness, see, he gets almost in a sprinter's type of stance. He runs right by Jeff Allen, who's back in the lineup after being injured the last time the Chiefs had the ball.
4 sacks today for this Denver defense. 2nd and 17. It's Charles, runs into a brick wall and gets thrown down by Dumerville. 3-yard pickup for Charles. Dan, you mentioned Jeff Allen did return after suffering what appeared to be a left arm or maybe wrist injury.
And remember, he was filling in for Donald Stevenson, who was filling in for Brandon Albert. A lot of injuries on that offensive line for Kansas City.
End of the 3rd quarter. Denver with a 35-3 lead. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Denver Broncos 1 quarter away from the #1 seed in the AFC. They are over 30 points in a game for the 11th time this season. 3rd and 13. Charles is tackled at the 21. Wesley Woodyard will get credit for it. 2-yard gain. After the Houston loss earlier today to the Colts, Broncos clinch home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs with a victory here today. 5 Pro Bowlers for the Broncos with Manning, Clady, Von Miller, Dumerville, and Champ Bailey all getting the honors.
And none of them want to go to the Pro Bowl.
Colquitt the punt. And that one will roll out of bounds just across the 35-yard line.
Pretty good catch by Colquitt. That ball.
On the high snap.
A lot of one-handed catches today.
Yeah.
Put that on the highlight reel. That may be KC's only highlight.
Peyton Manning today, a 73rd career game with 3 or more touchdown passes. That passes Brett Favre for the most all-time in NFL history. Manning's day is done. Manning's regular season is done. The Broncos are going to finish up at 13-3. And now it's Brock Osweiler getting an opportunity with a bunch of backups in there at the skill position, including Jacob Hester. Nobody knows the game like a quarterback. Break down all the NFL action on NFL Monday QB tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. 6'8", 240-pound, 22-year-old rookie Brock Osweiler. He is yet to attempt a pass this season. 2nd and 8 for Denver. Matthew Willis is in on a give for Hester. And they'll blow that play dead just short of the 40-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup. Manning, 12-time Pro Bowler. He said he and Champ Bailey have been to the Pro Bowl so often, they've had a lot of Mai Tais. They don't want any adult beverages this season. At the Pro Bowl.
Well, the Pro Bowl played a week before the Super Bowl, and of course, Super Bowl participants don't go to the Pro Bowl, and that's what the thought is for both Bailey and Manning and the other Pro Bowlers for Denver.
The only year Manning didn't go was the year that they won the Super Bowl. Osweiler is on target. He hits Willis. 5-yard pickup and a first down. JB and Boomer, NFL Today update. Let's head to New York.
Adrian Peterson by land or air.
That's right. Here comes Christian Ponder on a rollout. He finds Adrian Peterson, 2-yard touchdown pass. Adrian Peterson has 144 yards on the ground, 64 to break Eric Dickerson's record. Vikings win. They will go into the NFC playoffs.
Dan, I know you've seen a lot of great ones. Boy, he is right there with them. Ian and Dan.
No question about it, JB. Remarkable story coming back from that ACL injury late last season. Unbelievable.
Lance Ball is hit after the gain of 1 by Toribio. NFC playoff picture. JB and Boomer talking about this. With a win, Minnesota will get in over Chicago. And that's quite a story as well, considering what the expectations were outside of Minneapolis coming into the season.
And getting to the playoffs for Minnesota, that will help Adrian Peterson's case for MVP. Because they did it mostly on his legs and not the arm of Christian Ponder.
2nd and 9 now. Andre Caldwell, the motion man, the former Bengal. It's Ball again. He gets pushed forward for a gain of 5 to midfield. JB and Boomer busy back in the studio.
Russell Wilson's busy.
Hey, Dan, these rookie quarterbacks are making it look easy. Russell Wilson throws his 26th TD pass of the season, tying Peyton Manning's rookie record for that. They lead the Rams 13-10.
Unbelievable. Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts.
You know, guys, we had Seattle early in the season, and Russell Wilson just had a presence about him, a confidence that was still when people were trying to figure out exactly what he could be. Pete Carroll knew he had something special and named him the starting quarterback, despite the fact they signed Matt Flynn to a pretty big contract. Osweiler on time. Osweiler connecting.
Well, if the scores remain as they are right now, San Francisco will get the number 2 seed and the bye next week. That's how big that win by Minnesota is over their fierce rivals, the Packers.
Eric Decker on the catch and another first down for Denver. So working a starter in, Decker. 7 catches, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. Jacob Hester. Hester plows his way to the 25. 18 yards, good block from Dreesen. Denver moving the ball again as we head back to New York. JB and Boomer.
San Francisco's Mr. Reliable.
Well, they're bouncing back from last week's loss to Seattle. Here comes Frank Gore, 2 yards out. 49ers go up over the Cards 24-6. And they're smelling that number 2 spot in the NFC playoffs right now, boys.
Well, I guess I'll dust off the bird and the beard again.
Well, the beard happens to be a San Francisco native.
Yeah, he's former 49er fan. Well, he's still a 49er fan. Grew up as a ball boy for the 49ers.
Lance Ball brought down at the 24-yard line. Who was playing quarterback back then? Who were you watching?
John Brody was my man. We used to warm up together before games at Kezar Stadium. What a thrill for a 16, 17-year-old high school kid.
Were you bearded at that point?
It was, yeah, I was there. It was on the inside, though.
It was on the inside.
Took a while to pop out.
All right. So mentally, You had the beard. You just couldn't fully form it.
Yeah, you were always the bird.
That's
it took
true.
me a while to become the beard.
Gotcha. 2nd and 9 now for Denver. Brock Osweiler is in for Peyton Manning. Lance ball, and no gain on the play for ball as Sean Smith is there defensively. You know, Dad, you played quarterback in this league for so long, and you've seen things develop. This no-huddle attack of Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos, we've seen it around the league. I'm not sure anybody runs it better than him. Tom Brady is right there with him.
Yeah, but Manning really started it in Indianapolis with Tom Moore and Clyde Christensen, and the way that they were able to let him have his hand at the line of scrimmage. I think that's the great thing, is that the quarterbacks now are going to have more control of the game, back like in the old days when quarterbacks called their own plays.
On a 3rd and 9, Osweiler under some pressure. Tried to get it to Tammy. It's incomplete. So 4th down for the Broncos. 8:13 to play. Orlando Franklin a little bit slow getting up. And they will send Matt Prater onto the field. He's looking at about a 43-yard attempt. We'll call it 42 yards for Prater. Britton Colquitt will hold it. 42-yarder is good. Denver 38, Kansas City 3. Manning coaching up the young man Osweiler. Well, the road to the Super Bowl here in the AFC is going to have to come through Denver. 38-3, the Broncos leading the Chiefs with 8:09 to play. And apparently Mexico loves Peyton Manning as well. Matt Prater will kick it off to Sean Drone after the field goal. Kansas City is going to finish the season at 2-14 and will have the #1 pick in the 2013 draft. Kansas City with 11 yards in the second half, 100 yards overall. Denver 457 total yards today. Prater booms that one through the back of the end zone. Chiefs will have it at the 20, and they'll have a lot of decisions to make as well in the offseason, which starts tomorrow for KC. Ball at the 20-yard line, 38-3, Denver in front of Kansas City with 8:09 to play in the 4th quarter. Brady Quinn throws on 1st down and hits Moeaki for a 5-yard pickup. Next Sunday, the road to Super Bowl 47 on CBS starts with an AFC wildcard matchup. And it all begins with JB and Company special playoff edition of the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. More people watch the NFL on CBS than on any other network. It has gotten chilly here in Denver, down to 27 degrees. Quinn throwing again, drop ball by Moeaki. Dan, there could be between 9 and 12 head coaching changes in the NFL once the smoke clears. And the anticipation is that Romeo Crennel will probably be one of them. Clark Hunt, chairman and CEO of the Chiefs, will make that call. The future of GM Scott Pioli, that is a little more cloudy. There were some reports circulating earlier today that Pioli could be safe in that role as picking the players and setting up the personnel.
Yeah, but what we've seen in Kansas City at home games, a lot of empty seats. And that always gets the attention of the owner. And Clark Hunt will make the final decision, obviously, on both men. But right now, the Chiefs, it's more than just the offense that has been the problem today for Kansas City. A lot of attention on the quarterbacks, Brady Quinn and Matt Castle, and the struggles that they have had throughout the season. Losing Dwayne Bowe did not help any.
They do have the #1 pick coming their way, but it happens to come in a year where there isn't a franchise quarterback that pops off the page. Jalen Leonard, return man, flag is thrown. Leonard is brought down at the 33-yard line by Patrick DeMarco on special teams.
You know, especially when you look at the rookie quarterbacks this year and how fantastic they've played. RG3, Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck, to name the three best. And then you look at this year's draft class, and it's kind of a head-scratcher at the quarterback position.
When the season started, Matt Barkley was put in that category.
During the kick, there were 2 fouls by the receiving team. There was an illegal block in the back by number 17. That penalty is declined. There was also holding during the kick by number 56. That penalty is enforced from where the punt was caught. 10 yards, first down.
How cold did you say it was?
Yeah, it's cold. It might be a little colder down there.
I think so.
For Ed Hockley and
Poor
company.
guy.
He's braving his way through it. John Fox, head coach of the Broncos. A win here will be his 100th career victory, combining regular season and postseason. Denver's got a 38-3 lead with 7:13 to go in the fourth quarter. Osweiler on a give to Ball, and Ball driven down by Brandon Seiler, 3-yard pickup.
Well, Peyton Manning did it all today. Clearly played a little defense after the fumble by Hillman. He gets in the way and helps out on the tackle. Then he finds Eric Decker twice. And then Demaryius Thomas shows that he can catch the ball with one hand as well. 79% completion percentage today. Another 300-yard game for Peyton Manning.
Broncos will finish up 6-0 against the AFC West. Last time they did that, they won the Super Bowl. 1998.
180!
2nd and 7 now for Denver. Ball again. He's got a hole. Lance Ball cutting to the outside, and a first down for the Broncos. 19 yards on the run by Ball.
Well, it's a real tight formation. Watch Zane Beadles, the left guard, get over there and clear the way. That offensive line has been outstanding for the Broncos in this 11-game streak. We don't get enough credit because they're overshadowed by Manning and the receivers, but it all happens up front for any good offensive football team.
This time it's Hester on a crease for Hester. Jacob Hester, a recent pickup for Denver, and he has worked his way into a roll on offense. 13-yard gain for Hester, spreading it around with Moreno, Ball, Hester, and Ronnie Hillman had the fumble.
Yeah, Hester starting to look like that LSU tailback from a few years back, last couple of runs.
3rd-round pick of the San Diego Chargers back in 2008. Jacob Hester was never really a traditional fullback, and that might have been part of the issue in San Diego. Trying to take a square peg and put it into a round hole as Hester takes it up the middle for 3 yards. Patoi Tua with a hit. For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS, the game between the Chiefs and the Broncos. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Our score 38-3. Denver in front of Kansas City. 60 Minutes will be seen immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Down to 4:35 to play in the fourth. Very difficult season for the Kansas City Chiefs. Disappointing. Dealt with tragedy as well. And they're going to wrap up 2-14 on the year and have the #1 pick in the 2013 draft. Nowhere for Ball to go. Poe there for a loss of 1.
You know, in talking to Romeo Crennel yesterday, he told us he was impressed with how the Chiefs haven't given up. They've stuck together. They played hard every Sunday. He told his team that if they do play hard, that others will notice. And that is evidence in the fact that he has 5 Chiefs going to the Pro Bowl. He says it says a lot about those players and his team as a whole, despite their record.
Crennel took over last year on an interim basis. Todd Haley was let go. Haley eventually becoming the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. Some issues there this season. Crennel got the full-time job. Osweiler, low throw, trying to hit Caldwell. It's incomplete. So it's 4th down now for Denver. Still holding on with New England, but they've got a sizable lead on Miami. The victory for the Patriots would bring them into the number 2 spot, and Houston would drop down to the 3 seed, which means the Texans would play next week, hosting a playoff game on Wild Card Weekend. They look to be a shoo-in for that number 1 seed just a few weeks ago. Britton Colquitt, the punt. Devin Wiley is going to let it bounce, and it takes a roll towards the sideline. 3:25 to play in the 4th. Let's get an update right now. JB and Boomer.
Ian and Dan, take a look at this one. Controversial touchdown.
Oh, it is going to be controversy, JB. This play was ruled a fumble, which initiates what? A replay.
Review.
What is the head coach not allowed to do?
Throw the flag.
Throw the replay flag, kind of like Jim Schwartz did on Thanksgiving. Guess what happened here? This play was held up to be a touchdown, and also had a 15-yard penalty on the kickoff of the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I don't know how the NFL is going to explain it this week, but the Packers get a huge break.
And are within 3 of Minnesota. Back to Ian and Dan.
And obviously those kinds of plays take on even greater meaning when you have a playoff spot on the line, playoff seeding as well. You know, everybody in the league is paying attention. Flag is thrown.
Offside, defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And it's Robert Ayers on the penalty.
And, you know, the conspiracy theorists out there saying, well, Green Bay had one coming because of that Fail Mary up in Seattle. I'm sure the league's not looking at it that way, but you never know.
You believe that there's such a thing as even Steven in the NFL?
I think in life.
In life in general?
Yes.
You're getting so deep on me, Dan, here in week 17.
38-3, pal. Gotta go deep.
Gray with the run right up the middle. Cyrus Gray seeing some time for a 6-yard gain. Let's head back to New York. JB and Boomer have more.
New England, no mercy.
Well, look who's back in the lineup for the New England Patriots. It's Rob Gronkowski. It's 23 yards. Nobody's covering. You know, it was kind of cold, so when Miami got off the bus today, they did exactly what San Diego used to do back in the day when they played Cincinnati. Woo, it's cold.
Back to Ian and Dan.
Well, that's a low blow.
Well, that's true. You know, Boomer, of course, was in 3rd grade at the time.
That's right.
Kenny Anderson, the great quarterback for the Bengals, on the Freezer Bowl game.
And you still have issues with your right hand, do you not?
And with Boomer Esiason.
Yep, both. Not in that order. Gray trying to run inside. 2-yard pickup for Gray. We're down to 2:25 left. Unrein with the stop. So 2nd unit players in for Denver on defense. For Kansas City, you know, the realization that this season did not turn out the way it was planned. They had high expectations. Showed some signs last year. They're going to wrap up at 2-14, and we'll have the number 1 pick in the upcoming draft. 2 minutes left in the regular season for Kansas City and Denver. John Elway has made his way down onto the field to celebrate with his team. A 38-3 lead for Denver. 2 minutes away from the number 1 seed in the AFC. A 3rd and 2 now for Kansas City. Quinn, incomplete. Extending was Jamar Newsom, and now it's 4th down for the Chiefs. I want to send out get well wishes to our technical director Terry Rosich, who didn't make the trip out to Denver this week. Hope she's feeling better, resting comfortably at home, and looking forward to working with Terry next year. And she's been such a big part of our team over the last few seasons. Feel better, Terry.
Absolutely, Terry. We miss you.
1:55 to play, and now Pro Bowler Dustin Colquitt will come on.
It's been a battle of the Colquitts today, huh?
Yeah. Bit of a sidebar story, but yes. Yes, Colquitt brothers of Kansas City and Denver. Dustin and Britton. Jim Leonard backpedals, brings it in cleanly, not taking any chances, and no reason to. Fair catch called for at the 13. This is what the AFC bracket looks like right now. If New England goes on to win, then they are in control against Miami. New England would be the 2 seed, Denver the 1 seed, Indianapolis, Baltimore in the 5-4 matchup, Houston, Cincinnati in 3-6. But keep in mind, if Cincinnati ever pulled off the upset, Denver would play the lowest remaining seed. They do reseed, so to speak, in terms of the bracket in the NFL.
Yeah, a lot of seeds there. You sound like a farmer, Ryan.
No. We're in a farming area, aren't we?
You bet. You know, you think about Denver. They want to avoid playing New England, and they have avoided having to go back to New England.
Well, this was their last loss. It was week 5. Ridley, the touchdown. Broncos tried to rally. But Willis McGahee, the fumble in the red zone. New England with a 31-21 win over Denver. You know, interesting, and talking with Peyton Manning about the comeback against San Diego, which many people believe was the turning point of the season. And Manning was the first to admit, hey, I didn't expect it. I didn't go into halftime thinking, oh yeah, we're going to come from behind. We got this one. He was still trying to figure out exactly what he had on his hands with this team.
He said it was a real team effort too. The defense rose up, shut out San Diego, sacked Philip Rivers, picked him off, scored on a touchdown, interception. But it was Manning who gave the team confidence to get on this 11-game roll that they're on. Hottest team in the NFL. Home field advantage throughout. Absolutely all the pieces falling into place for the Denver Broncos.
Osweiler. And that'll do it. The Denver Broncos, the number 1 seed in the AFC. They clinch home field advantage with a 38-3 win over the Chiefs. Gatorade for John Fox. It's an 11-game winning streak to end the regular season for Kansas City, 2-14 record, and the number 1 overall pick in the 2013 NFL Draft. (38-3) final score tonight on CBS 60 Minutes. NCIS, The Good Wife, and The Mentalist. For Dan Fouts, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Denver. Let's head to New York and JB.